Stand by for WHOMP radio. In 3, 2, 1. Cue the announcer.
You found WHOMP radio, your one source for tech news and reviews. Now, almost live from sunny Florida, here's your host, Bawana McCall.
Greetings, folks, and welcome to episode 276 of Bawana radio. We got a great show lined up for you. I'm hesitant to say great show because I only found 4 stories, man. It's like the news faucets of the internet were clogged with stuff that prevented news from flowing. It was just a lot of nothing. I was going through my feeds, and I was going through Reddits, and I was going through the Googles and the internets and the things and the Twitters and the what happened and what hows and what nots. And all I found was stuff. Irrelevant stuff. But we try to do it here. We try to find the best stories. And, this is our tech news and review show. So I found 4 stories. We're going to try to keep it okay. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good time. I don't know. 20 minutes or less, maybe. We'll try to shoot for 15 at least. 4 stories is a short show. But I hope you all stick around for the end. I think it's going to be worth your time. And check us out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/IOBuffer. You can check out the archives if you're interested after listening to this one. So we got a great show lined up for episode 276 of Bawana radio.
It's time for Bawana radio's tech news for this week.
And for our first story, we're going to talk about your cell phone and your computer. Your cell phone and your computer. And this is something that we use every day. I use my cell phone all the time. And I was just reminiscing like the other week, like 6,000 months ago, about how I actually use my cell phone as a teddy bear. What were you talking about? You go to bed and you like get snuggled under the covers and you like sit there and you go, man, I really wish there was something to make me feel comfortable. I go, let me check out Google Plus. Let me check out this. Let me check out the Twitters. Let me go to Twitch. And you sit there in your bed and you have the warm glow of the cell phone warming your eyes. And you go, yeah. And all of a sudden you drop the phone and it hits your nose. Bow! And you're like, ow! You did it. Anyway, what we're going to talk about today is a very cool thing. Oh, we've talked about the service before. It's if this, then that. IFTTTTTTTTTT. But this is a great article over on makeuseof.com, which shows you how you can utilize your phone to issue a command to your computer via text message. And it utilizes all of the sweet rules that IFTTTTTT has and Dropbox. In this particular case, you can send a text message to trigger a file being written on your computer. And MakeUseOf goes through the steps. You send a text message, it writes a file, you write a VBS script on Windows to monitor if that file is updated, and if that file is updated, you trigger a shutdown. Very cool stuff. I mean, this is stuff that I used to script all the time in Linux and Perl, and I used to do text message stuff as well, and it was really cool. But this is a way you could do it in Windows, and I really like the sweet touch they did with VB script and shut down that text, coupled with Windows Scheduler, to shut down your computer via a text message. Now, if you've left the house or you're going to go on an extended trip, you're like, oh man, I forgot to shut down my computer. Oh wait, I have my handy dandy cell phone. Let me send a text message to my wonderful computer where I have set up a Dropbox thingamajiggy, and I also have set up a VBS script to also shut down my computer in the event that I were to leave the house and leave my computer on. There, I have sent a text message to my computer. It should shut down in approximately 5 minutes. Thank you, technology. Thank you. That's just one example of how you can use your cell phone. I mean, you can do all kinds of cool stuff with IFTTTTTT to really make your life a lot easier. And text messages, SMS, is just one way of doing it. So check this story out, guys. Over on makeuseof.com, they got the details. One of the many ways you can use your cell phone and computer to communicate with each other via SMS. On to our next story, we're going to still talk about some cell phone stuff, but this time we're going to talk about Microsoft and Nokia. And you may have recalled that, you know, Microsoft kind of bought all of the mobile aspects of the Nokia business, save their mapping thing and some other things that we mentioned on the previous show. But this particular story talks about the possibilities, the what ifs, how you can use your imagination to just try to imagine what if Nokia had went Android. And the possibility was actually there. Nokia had developed an Android phone that was ready to be released in 2014. This was prior to their big negotiations with Microsoft. And there's a lot of conspiracy theorists, including myself, that, you know, this whole Microsoft Nokia thing was kind of constructed and crafted like way back when, the early days of like 2010. I don't know when. But just think about it, man. What if Nokia had went Android? You know, right now we got Samsung dominating Android. We got HTC nipping at the heels of them. We got Sony. We've got, who else? I mean, we got all these different handset makers. We got Motorola Google. All these handset makers who are utilizing Android and making buku bucks. Holla, holla, dollar, dollar. All over the place. And what if Nokia had did that? Would they be in a different spot today? Because Nokia's fallen off hard. I mean, you gotta admit, Nokia was top dog everywhere. Not everywhere. They were top dog, especially in the EU. And they're kind of slipping. They've slipped. I don't think the slipping term is relevant anymore. They've slipped. But if they would have taken in the Android operating system, I honestly think that they would be in a lot better position than they are today with Windows Phone. Nokia was a trusted brand, more trusted than Motorola in a lot of people's eyes. And, you know, a lot of people, including myself, were really fond of the Symbian OS. And if they could have took their ideas from Symbian and applied them to Android, I think we'd have a much better Android operating system today. It's kind of sad that this happened this way. That Android did not go the way of Nokia. I'm telling you, man, I had like 3 or 4 Nokia phones. I had a T68i. What's that big? I used to have it on my desk. I don't have it anymore. It's an ancient phone with a giant keyboard. I used to love that thing, man. It has so many features. You know, have you ever had a phone that you never used all the features of it? You tried to, but you couldn't. It was like, you just can make VoIP calls from your toilet. Just plug the phone into your flushing mechanism, and it will call your mother. It will automatically scan through your contacts, find your mother's phone, and simply by flushing the toilet, you could call your... I mean, the phone had everything. You know, granted, Symbian has some really bad memory leaks, but that's not important. We're not here to talk about memory leaks in Symbian. Gosh. We're here to talk about Nokia. But what if they would have went Android, I really think it would have been a different story for their company. Now they're sitting in the bosom of Microsoft and Windows Phone, and their whole entire future, I think, as a brand rests in the future of Windows Phone. Windows Phone is gaining traction slowly, very, 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 very slowly. But I don't know, man. I really think Nokia could have been better as an Android phone. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Check it out, guys. This is over on bits.blogs.newyorktimes.com. They got the details. The Microsoft Nokia deal has been done, but there was an Android phone that was developed. What would have happened if Nokia would have went Android?
You found Bwana.org Radio. Tech news and tech gadgets for the hardcore geek in all of us.
Gather round, children. Let me tell you a story about a little device called a cassette tape. Well, back in my day, we used to have a plastic little contraption that we slid inside of a little slider thing, and we pushed it in, and we pushed the play button, and the little dials would turn the little dialing ways, and we would hear the most beautiful music on the world. Grandpa, you just lying to us. We you know we had CDs since 2003. I'm telling you, boy, you better listen to me, boy. Now, we had cassette tapes. And before that, we even had 8-track tapes. I'm telling you, boy. You need to learn your hit. Now, the cassette tape, guys, the cassette tape is 50. Holy goodness. 50 years old. I did not know. Now, I'm old. I'm up there. I ain't gonna even lie. But I had no idea that cassette tape. And I remember when I was coming up as a young lad, young strapping lad that had no care in the world, that, you know, people were using 8-tracks. I'm dating myself now. You guys are going to guess my age. People were using 8-tracks. And I was like, it's so big. It was so big. The 8-track tapes were like, it was like you took, I don't know, man. I'm trying to think of an analogy. It was like you took a book and you stored music in it, and you slid the book inside of another giant boombox, and then you hit this giant button with your elbow, and then it would start playing the music, and it would make this loud clacking noise, like clack, and then all of a sudden music would come out. I was like, that doesn't look fun at all. And then the cassette tape came out. I was like, okay, here we go. And I started flipping it around and flipping the tape in my hand. I was like, yeah. Check out my new mixtape. Oh, man. I made so many mixtapes. Dude, you hear jokes about people making mixtapes, and there's even sites. I think it was a mixtapes.us that did it with MP3s and stuff. We call them playlists today. They're called playlists. You know those things that you put together where songs are in sequential. But I'm telling you, man, back in my day, we had to get two boom boxes and put them face to face. Because we didn't have those dual cassette players. We put them face to face, and we record songs in order, and then we listen to the radio, and then we wait for that song. We sit there for 5,000 minutes, and we wait for our favorite song to come on. We'd have that record button going, that here's that new track by New Kids on the Block, and then you hit record, and all of a sudden you got the song on your mixtape. But you couldn't edit out the talking guy in the beginning, so people would know you recorded it off the radio, but you didn't care because that was your mixtape. Oh, man, cassette tapes changed my life. I would not have become the man I am today without the cassette tape. That is not true, but the cassette tape is a revolutionary device, and I really think it should deserve some recognition, because it took that giant behemoth of an 8-track and it added a lot of cool things to it. The ability to record. I can record my own stuff. Wow. And we had the micro cassettes, and you know, we had the bigger cassettes, and we also had tape drives on our computer. Yeah, we're going to talk about that one in a bit. Tape drives. But the compact cassette turns 50, puts a tear. This is over at Gadget.com. It puts a tear in Soundwave's eye. If you don't know what Soundwave is, I am saddened by your lack of knowledge. Go to Wikipedia or something and look up Soundwave and educate yourself, people. Educate yourself. Check it out, guys, over at Gadget.com. They got the details. Compact cassette turns 50, puts a tear in Soundwave's eye. The tape is not dead. The tape is not dead, guys. Over on the register.co.uk, talk about Oracle. They have released an 8.5 terabyte, you got it, tape drive. What in the world are you just talked about cassette tapes, and now you're talking about storage of data, and I just don't know your brain.
That's right, people. If you don't know, we used to have these things called, we still do. The tape is not dead. Called tape drives. Tape drives. And we were able to back up large amounts of data. And you know what? People still use tape drives. This is where the term backup to tape comes from.
We didn't always store things on CD. We didn't always store things on DVD or Blu-ray or USB sticks. We had these wondrous things called tape drives. This is a new device, guys. The StorageTek T10000D transfers uncompressed data at 252 megabytes per second and 756 megabytes per second with a 3-to-1 compression running. Its 252 megabytes per second data rate is 57.5% faster than the LTO6's 160 megabytes per second. And it only stores 2.5 terabytes raw. This one is 8.5. So if you're still using tapes, this is it. This is a this is a 2013 brand new tape drive. It's not dead. It's not dead. Here's a quote from David Ryan, the Clipper Group analyst. He says, according to Oracle's calculations, 1 petabyte T10000D solution can cost about 20% less and can consume about 20% less floor space with an LTO6 in Oracle's StorageTek SL3000 library. It's a very small footprint for these things. The tapes aren't that big. They're not that big. They're basically micro cassettes. They're not that big. They're kind of thick, but they're not that big. And this new D format is 19% faster than the previous iteration. So, man, looking for a storage backup solution? It's probably very expensive. They don't list the price here. Guys, rule of thumb, a little bit of wisdom here. If a site doesn't list the price, you can't afford it. Just believe me. If you go look at a very cool product and it doesn't list the price, you can't afford it. Bottom line. But the register.co.uk tells us that the tape is not dead. It is not dead. 8.5 terabyte Oracle tape drive is alive and well. Check the story out, guys. The register's got the details and you're over there. Hey guys, Buona here. Just want to take time to thank our corporate sponsors, Amazon.com, Greenman Gaming, and YouTube. Without these guys, Buona.org radio would not be possible. So thank you to our corporate sponsors. And that concludes episode 276 of Buona.org radio. I told you it was going to be short, but we tried to make it interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed the 4 stories that we talked about. We're over at twitch.tv/Buona, where we recorded behind the scenes, kind of a behind the curtain scenes of what I do with Buona.org radio. You can get a glimpse of what I do, how to produce a show. If you got ideas about, or if you want to produce your own podcast, like, you can just mooch off of what I do. I don't care, and use it for your own show. So come on by and follow our channel over here. You can follow my YouTube channel at youtube.com/IOBuffin. Also at twitter.com/Buona. You can follow me over there on Twitter and on Google Plus at google.com/+Buona. I want to thank everybody for listening to Buona.org radio episode 276. And I will see you all next time. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.